Most creators think views come from the algorithm. But before the algorithm gives you views, people have to click. That click usually starts with one thing: the thumbnail. We analyzed 1,000 YouTube thumbnails using AI-assisted pattern analysis to understand what makes people stop, look, and click. The goal was simple: identify the visual patterns that separate thumbnails people ignore from thumbnails people actually click. We looked at contrast, text size, facial expressions, colors, clutter, curiosity gaps, numbers, layout, and visual hierarchy. And the first insight was clear: thumbnails are not decoration. They are decision triggers. A viewer does not study your thumbnail. They judge it almost instantly. On mobile, the decision can happen in less than 1 second. If the message is not instantly clear, the click is gone. That means your thumbnail has one job: make the viewer understand why this video matters before they scroll away. The first pattern was contrast. High contrast thumbnails stood out faster in crowded feeds, especially on mobile. Dark backgrounds with bright text, strong color separation, and clear focal points performed better than flat or low contrast visuals. This happens because the YouTube homepage is a visual battlefield. Your thumbnail is not competing against one video. It is competing against dozens of other options at the same time. If your thumbnail blends in, it disappears. The best thumbnails create immediate separation between foreground and background. That can mean light text on dark background, a bright object against a muted scene, or a strong color block behind the main message. Contrast is not only about color. It is also about meaning. A clean image next to a messy image creates contrast. A shocked face next to a calm chart creates contrast. A red warning sign next to a green growth graph creates contrast. The second pattern was simplicity. The best thumbnails usually communicate one idea, not 5. One message. One emotion. One visual focus. Weak thumbnails try to explain the whole video. Strong thumbnails create one question. For example, a weak thumbnail says, "AI analyzed YouTube thumbnail performance across multiple categories." A strong thumbnail says, "Why they click?" The first version explains too much. The second version creates a question. And questions are powerful because the viewer wants closure. The third pattern was text length. Short text almost always works better than long text. The most clickable thumbnails usually use 3 to 5 words. Not because people cannot read more, but because they do not have time to read more. Your title can explain. Your thumbnail must interrupt. If your thumbnail has 12 words, it becomes a mini paragraph. And mini paragraphs do not work in a fast-moving feed. A good thumbnail text is not a sentence. It is a trigger. Examples include, "Why they click, 90% fail," "Stop guessing," "What converts," or "Hidden pattern." These phrases are short, but they create tension. They do not give everything away. They make the viewer want the explanation. The fourth pattern was facial emotion. Thumbnails with clear human emotion often create faster attention. Surprise, confusion, fear, excitement, doubt, or curiosity are easier to process than neutral expressions. The brain reads faces extremely fast. That makes faces powerful visual shortcuts. But the emotion must match the topic. A fake shocked face can hurt credibility, especially in business, education, data, or analytical content. For a serious channel, the best expression is not fake drama. It is controlled curiosity. A look that says, "There is something important here," that is more credible than exaggerated YouTube shock. The fifth pattern was numbers. Numbers increase perceived specificity. 1,000 thumbnails analyzed feels more credible than thumbnail tips. 3 mistakes feels more concrete than how to improve. 2.4x higher center feels more specific than better results. Numbers tell the viewer that the video has structure, evidence, and a clear payoff. They also reduce uncertainty. The viewer knows they are not just getting vague advice. They expect findings, patterns, comparisons, or a ranked list. That is why numbers are so powerful in titles and thumbnails. They promise structure before the video even begins. The 6th pattern was the curiosity gap. The best thumbnails do not reveal everything. They create a question the viewer wants answered. A good thumbnail makes the viewer think, what is the pattern? Why does this work? Am I making this mistake? That small unanswered question is what drives the click. But the curiosity gap must be honest. If the thumbnail promises a shocking answer and the video gives generic advice, retention drops. Curiosity gets the click. Delivery keeps the viewer. That is why the best packaging combines curiosity with credibility. The thumbnail opens the loop. The video must close it. The 7th pattern was visual hierarchy. The viewer should know where to look first. If everything is important, nothing is important. The strongest thumbnails usually have one dominant element: a face, a graph, a product, a number, or a bold phrase. Then everything else supports that one element. Visual hierarchy is what tells the eye where to go. First, the viewer sees the dominant object. Then, they read the short text. Then, they understand the emotional or practical reason to click. If those 3 steps are not clear, the thumbnail becomes confusing. And confusion kills clicks. The 8th pattern was clutter. Clutter is one of the biggest reasons thumbnails fail. Too many objects, too many words, too many colors, too many icons, and too many arrows make the thumbnail harder to understand. And when the viewer has to think too much, they scroll. A cluttered thumbnail may look like it has more information. But more information does not mean more clicks. Usually, it means more cognitive load. The viewer should not need to decode the image. They should instantly feel what the video is about. That is why many strong thumbnails are almost brutally simple. One message. One object. One emotion. One reason to click. The 9th pattern was mobile readability. Most creators design thumbnails on a large screen. But many viewers see them on a small phone. That changes everything. Small text disappears. Tiny details vanish. Complex layouts collapse. If your thumbnail only works on desktop, it is not finished. The test is simple: shrink it down. Can you still read the main text? Can you still understand the image? Can you still identify the main emotional signal? If not, simplify it. The 10th pattern was title thumbnail alignment. A thumbnail alone does not create the full click. The title and thumbnail work together. The thumbnail grabs attention. The title confirms the value. If the thumbnail says, "Why they click," the title can say, "AI analyzed 1,000 YouTube thumbnails." Together, they create curiosity plus credibility. The thumbnail creates the question. The title explains the promise. This is where many creators fail. They repeat the same message in both places. For example, the thumbnail says, "Thumbnail tips," and the title says, "Thumbnail tips for YouTube." That wastes space. A better combination creates 2 different signals. The thumbnail triggers emotion. The title adds context. The thumbnail says, "Why they click." The title says, "AI analyzed 1,000 thumbnails." Now the viewer understands both the mystery and the evidence. That is the real job of packaging. Not to trick people, but to make the value obvious before the video starts. So what is the practical formula for a strong thumbnail? Use one clear idea. Add one strong visual. Use 3 to 5 words. Create one curiosity gap. Make the contrast strong. Remove everything that does not help the click. Then test it at mobile size. If it does not work small, it will not work in the feed. A weak thumbnail explains the video. A strong thumbnail sells the reason to watch. A weak thumbnail says what the topic is. A strong thumbnail shows why the topic matters. That is the difference between information and attention. And attention is the first step in every YouTube result. Before watch time, there is the click. Before retention, there is the decision to start. Before the algorithm learns your audience, viewers need to choose the video. That choice begins with packaging. So before you upload your next video, ask 5 questions. Does the thumbnail stand out in 1 second? Is the text readable on mobile? Is there one clear focal point? Does it create curiosity? And does the title complete the promise? If you fix only one thing in your YouTube strategy, start with thumbnails. Because the best video in the world can still fail if nobody clicks. The algorithm does not reward content people never choose. It rewards viewer behavior. And viewer behavior begins with the click. Great thumbnails are not random. They are visual systems built around attention, curiosity, and clarity. The future of YouTube growth will not be only about creating more videos. It will be about creating clearer decisions for the viewer. In a crowded feed, clarity wins. In a fast scroll, contrast wins. In a competitive niche, curiosity wins. And in long-term growth, trust wins. So do not design thumbnails to look beautiful. Design them to communicate instantly. Design them to create one question. Design them to make the value obvious. That is how thumbnails turn impressions into views. If you want more AI-driven insights on content, marketing, and business growth, subscribe to the channel. No hype. No guesswork. Just data.